to Krishna Culture Storytime. I'm Sachirani, and today we're going to read a really nice story called Miraculous Gopal. This is a story adapted by Sita Gilbakian and illustrated by Padmavati Devi Dasi. And it has beautiful illustrations, little Krishna and his cow, and we're going to read about the story of Govardhan Hill. So let's go. From ancient India comes the mystical and enchanting stories of Gopal, the cow herder. While living the life of a simple village boy, Gopal is actually God himself, playing human. His adventures in the forest of Vrindavan bring both joy and amazement to those who hear them. Endowed with limitless powers and riches, Gopal shows time and time again his greatest strength is his love and affection for his cows, friends, and family. One day, Gopal saw his father, Nanda Maharaj, setting out golden bowls on the hillside. "What are you doing?" Gopal asked. Gopal's father did not answer. Instead, he drew patterns on the ground with colored sand. So Gopal asked again, "Are you playing a game? Can I play with you?" Nanda Maharaj just continued arranging fruits and grains around a small altar. "Father, please tell me what you're doing." Gopal's father shook his head. "I'm very busy. Please don't bother me." But Gopal wanted to know. He asked, "Is this a holy sacrifice to God?" Nanda Maharaj finally stood up. He sighed and said, "Yes. This is a sacrifice for Indra, the king of heaven. He controls the clouds that bring us rain. Now please go and play somewhere else." "Is Indra God?" Gopal asked. Nanda frowned and said, "Indra is one of God's helpers. Now please leave me alone." "But why don't we just worship God?" Gopal asked. Nanda sighed again. "Because we need rain to grow fruits and vegetables. Without rain, we will have no grains or grass for our cows to eat. We have to thank Indra, or he might not send us any rain." "But why don't we just worship God?" Gopal asked. Nanda sighed again. "Because we need rain to grow fruits and vegetables. Without rain, we will have no grain or grass for our cows to eat. We have to thank Indra, or he might not send any more rain." Gopal looked at Govardhan, the hill where the cows were grazing. "Why don't we just honor this hill instead?" he said. "What?" his father laughed. "And how will that make our Vrindavan village prosper?" "Well," Gopal said, "our cows eat the green grass of this hill. Then we drink their sweet milk. The rivers water the trees. Then we eat their yummy fruits. And the bees make honey from the flowers. Don't you think that's all we need?" Nanda smiled. Yes, tomorrow we shall hold another ceremony for Govardhan Hill. Now let me finish my ceremony for Indra." "Oh no," Gopal cried. "Please don't wait. Just take all the things you were going to offer to Indra and offer them to Govardhan Hill right now." Gopal looked at his father and smiled sweetly. Nanda could not resist his dear son. He said, "All right, just tell me what to do." Gopal asked some villagers to cook a big feast. He asked others to feed the cows. He asked others to decorate the bullock carts. Everyone dressed in their finest clothes for a procession from the village to Govardhan Hill. They circled the hill singing songs of thanksgiving. Everyone was very happy. But not everyone was happy with the festivities. From his heavenly palace, Indra, the god of thunder, watched the Vrindavan villagers. He became very angry when he saw that they had stopped the sacrifice to him just because a little boy told them to. "They will suffer for this," he said. "I'll teach them to ignore me." Indra stomped around his palace. Thunder rattled from the ceilings, shaking the sky. Lightning flashed from Indra's eyes. In a loud voice he roared, "I'll show them how powerful I am, and I'll find a way to punish that rascal Gopal." "Clouds!" Indra shouted. Come here at once." Hundreds of dark, threatening clouds flew into Indra's palace. "Yes, master. What is your order for us?" Indra roared. "Go flood the village of Vrindavan. I want it destroyed. Drown all the people, and make sure you drown all the cows too." The clouds had never seen their master so angry before. Some of them were a little afraid of doing such a terrible thing, but Indra said, "Go right now. I will follow with my thunderbolts." So the clouds flew out of the palace and headed straight for Vrindavan village. Indra drove the clouds in a furious rage over Vrindavan village. They hurled down streams of rain as sharp as arrows. They flung chunks of ice as heavy as boulders. They made the wind howl and shriek. Behind them, Indra's lightning crashed, setting fire to the sky. His roaring thunder sounded like mountains shattering. Floods covered all of the fields and pastures of Vrindavan village. Hailstones as big as rocks hit the bullock carts. Cows mooed in distress. Children cried and ran under their mothers' dresses for shelter. Indra screamed at his clouds, "Harder, louder, send more rain!" Soaked to the bones, the villagers looked for somewhere to hide from the terrible rainstorm. The cows shivered and trembled, trying to shelter their calves beneath them. But there was nothing anyone could do. They were far away from their own homes. There was no escape from the rain, hail, lightning, and thunder. Nanda Maharaj knelt down in a puddle of water. He prayed, "O Supreme God, you are so very kind to your devotees. You are the most powerful. Please save us from Indra's anger." All the villagers knelt down too. They echoed Nanda's prayer and waited for God to save them. But it was not God in heaven who answered Nanda's prayer. It was little Gopal. He said, "Don't be afraid. I will protect all of you. I'll take care of Indra too." Nanda Maharaj laughed. "Don't be silly. You are just a little boy. There is no way you can stop this terrible thunderstorm. No one but Indra's master, the supreme God, can save us now." Gopal smiled at his father and all the Vrindavan villagers. "Believe me, I can really save you because I am Indra's master." Nanda and the other coward men giggled. They thought that Gopal was playing make-believe. The villagers were still giggling when, using only one hand, Gopal picked up the whole hill of Govardhan. They could not believe what was happening. Gopal called to them, "Come and take shelter under this big umbrella." But no one moved. They were afraid to go under the hill. They thought it would fall on their heads. They whispered to each other, "How is Gopal lifting this hill? Is it a magic trick? He's holding the big hill as if it were just a tiny mushroom." "Come on," Gopal called to them. "Do not be afraid. I won't let the hill fall from my hand." Gopal's father was the first one to trust him. He said, "Let us take shelter of this wonderful umbrella." Then the other villagers went beneath the hill. Finally the cows and their calves came too. But still the villagers worried. "Surely this small boy cannot keep on holding Govardhan Hill until the rain stops. Let us take some of the weight off Gopal's little finger," they said. So the men took the sticks they used to prod the cows and pushed them upward toward the bottom of the heavy hill. Gopal laughed at their help. "I can do this all alone," he said. For 7 days and 7 nights, Indra sent torrential thunder, lightning, hailstones, and sleet, but the villagers were all safe and dry. Indra was very angry. "No one can withstand my powerful storms. Why haven't they all drowned? Why are they all so cheerful under that mountain?" Indra saw Gopal easily holding up the hill with his little finger. Then Indra looked at his storm clouds. They were all totally exhausted from blowing so hard and pouring so much rain all week long. "Enough," Indra ordered. "Stop all your gales. Stop all the showers." Under Govardhan Hill, the villagers noticed that the rain was stopping. "Listen, No more thunder, the children said, and no more lightning either. Look, everyone, someone shouted. The sky's clearing. And so it was. The sun shone brightly and a beautiful rainbow arced in the sky. Hooray! Everyone cheered. Indra has called off the dark rain clouds. Yes, Gopal said. You can all go back to your homes now. One by one, the villagers and their cows left the shelter of the hill. Then Gopal carefully put Govardhan Hill exactly where it had been. The villagers placed a fragrant flower garland on Gopal. They cheered, Hooray for Gopal! The cowherd men lifted Gopal on their shoulders and carried him through the crowd. Everyone wanted to hug and kiss Gopal. They thanked him for saving them from Indra's angry rainstorm. Gopal smiled and hugged them all. He knew that they did not know he was the Supreme Lord on earth. They thought he was just a little boy who somehow magically lifted a big hill. But one person realized who Gopal really was. From his palace in the clouds, Indra understood that Gopal was his master. Indra came down from the clouds. He wanted to apologize. I am very sorry I sent floods and hailstorms to Vrindavan. I forgive you, Gopal said, but why did you do it? I became angry because you stopped the sacrifice that the cowherd men were going to hold for me, Indra answered. But now I know that you are the supreme god. I am only your servant. Indra bowed down before Gopal. Gopal said, Go back to your own planet, but always remember that you are only my agent. Neither you nor any of the other little gods is more important than your lord. After Indra left, Gopal walked back to Vrindavan village with his brother Balaram. Balaram asked him, How did you manage to hold up that big hill for so long? Gopal cuddled a calf in his arms. He said, Did you forget who I am? What do you mean? Balaram asked. You're my brother Gopal, the son of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. That's true, Gopal said. But I'm also the Supreme Lord, God of everything and everyone. Then Gopal winked. But please don't tell anyone else. I want them to keep treating me like their little boy. Balaram smiled. I'll keep your secret. When Gopal and Balaram arrived home, their mother and sister were waiting. Yashoda gathered Gopal in her arms and smothered him with kisses. You are such a brave little boy. Today you saved our whole village. If you had not lifted Govardhan Hill for us, we would have all been finished. It's a miracle how you were able to lift that heavy hill for so long. It was fun to do, Mother, Gopal said. Balaram started to say, He could do it because... Gopal gave his brother a nudge. Balaram winked at Gopal and finished saying, Because Gopal is wonderful. The end. Now what a wonderful story of how little Gopal lifted Govardhan Hill for 7 days to protect his family and all his friends and devotees, and in the same time teach Indra a little lesson in humility. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. You can get this book at krishnaculture.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you!